And it's Thursday. It's time to get your paint on every Thursday morning, 10 a.m. and hear my song. And I can hear me over there. That's terrible. Good morning, everyone. This is Dallas Kemp, studio manager at Priority Press, and this is Thursday morning. Get your paint on. And today we have our special guest painter back once again to paint his Company of Iron Army, Mr. Josh Cologne.
Hello, everyone. How are you today?
They all say, hello, Josh. Hello. Hello, Josh. You're awesome, Josh.
Oh, my goodness. So much flattery.
It's so much flattery. Also on the command center is Mr. Tony Konachek.
Sitting in a much more comfortable position now that we've kind of
we've
tidied up the studio a little bit.
Rearranged.
Retrofitted.
And acquired a fully functional, fully operational Studio 2.
Studio B.
Studio B.
Studio B.
The new command center.
We actually don't have a Studio A. It's just the studio. So we have the studio and then now Studio B.
Do I dare say it?
Yeah, you don't
Studio
say A.
Studio Prime.
Studio Prime and Studio Primal.
Super Prime.
You know, I actually tried to get Matt to change my title officially to Painter Prime
Really?
and Ron Creasy to Painter Primal because it's just so apropos.
The Hordes to your war machine. I love it.
Zach Barkley says, hello, Josh.
Hi, guys. Hi, Zach.
So it's Josh, why don't you tell everybody what you're working on today?
Oh, I'm very excited.
Look at this dope model.
I am so
Why
excited.
are you not
today.
painting? Paint.
I'm putting my stuff down. You know what? We're not all as fast and great as you. So let me show it real quick. This is the unmounted champion of the Order of the Wall.
He's unmounted. What are you doing with this unmounted guy, Josh?
Well, I'm painting him up because you will soon be able to play unmounted things in Company of Iron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unmounted dragoons.
That's right. So I'm painting him up for my force, and I'm really excited because normally you'd have to wait till December for the 12 Factions of Christmas stuff to get them. But the one little perk of working at Privateer sometimes
Is I make you paint stuff.
the studio manager will hand you.
I'm like, here, take this and paint it. You need to paint this.
will make you paint really sweet models, and I'm really excited.
Bum 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 bum. Dudes off their horses, kicking butt in Company of Iron.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited too. Like I've been painting my trolls for Company of Iron.
Oh, have you really?
And on my vacay, and getting them all worked up, and I already have there you go.
I'm trying to decide where it's gonna go.
Put the brush to the model.
Yeah.
Let the paint flow.
Let the paint flow.
Just talking about your trolls for Company of Iron?
Oh yeah, I've been painting them, and they're looking kind of dope. They're called the Steel Creel.
Oh, that's
That
awesome.
sounds cool.
Yeah, and all their like little gribbly bits on their chins are all metal, and they have like bolts and like little parts and stuff like that, and they're all like yellow.
Did you do any other conversions?
Um,
I'm asking like I don't know, but I was at your house on Saturday and I got to see all the cool stuff, and so I'm like pretending like, oh, tell me more.
tell
but
me
seriously,
more about
I already,
this Steel Creel. That
I already know how
I've never-
awesome it is.
Well, I cut the stick off the Northkin Shaman, and because he's got like an icicle stick, and I removed that and gave him like a little iron pole with some gears and cogs and stuff hanging from it.
So
And then
awesome.
like Valka,
The Curseborn.
you know what? I'm not calling him Valka the Curseborn. I'm calling him Valka Gearbreaker.
That is
that's
so
good.
cool.
Matt Getz wrote up a little snippet of a story of Valka, the what do you call it? The gear breaker, the piston snapper, the scourge of the scavenging for desert or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, you know what? Valka gear breaker sounds baller. He's
It
got like
is
a
a-
jackhead hanging from his belt. Like he's got Brickhouse's hand up above on like a back banner. Like, because they're all just like these. Like I'm imagining him as like this nomadic scavenging
Right.
creel of trolls. And like
so
I
great.
actually have a idea for I want to build a piece of terrain just for the army.
Really?
Well, I did that for my trenchers.
Oh yeah.
I'm,
right.
steal-
right.
I'm
I
stealing that
saw
idea
that. Yeah,
actually,
that's so
Yeah.
so that I
yeah.
can have my blockhouse in my Company of Iron games.
Yeah, I mean that's a cool thing. Is like I use the blockhouse, right, and that's a thing for War Machine Hordes. But Like I just made a piece of terrain for my Company of Iron trenchers that I
Right.
can use in my Company of Iron games, and it's just kind of thematic and it's just kind of cool, right? It's just making something cool for Company of Iron instead of just worrying about like I mean it's cool in War Machine as well, but it's got another use. I can use in Company of Iron as terrain. So I'm going to do the same thing for I think for each of my Company of Iron armies, I'm going to build a piece of thematic terrain.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So whenever I play against somebody and they put down the terrain, I can be like, whoa. There's at least one piece that has to go on here, and it's this.
It's like you're playing on your own home turf, right? Like you got like
Travis, you should totally build an exemplar barracks. That would be totally dope.
that would be
Send
awesome.
You can send one to me too.
Yeah.
Build 2.
Build 2, Travis. Build 3. You know what, Travis? You build me one, I'll build an exemplar army. See that? I just bribed Travis Mark.
What
Oh my goodness.
So what kind of
And
lists
a
have you
kiss
been
on the cheek, Travis.
What kind of lists have you been building for Company of Iron, Josh? Other than your Protectorate Force?
Yeah, you're building.
Yeah, what are you
Because
playing
I
around
seriously
with?
have like 6 Company of Iron armies.
Yeah,
in my,
I know.
In my war room.
We all, I think we're just talking about it earlier, that it's so much fun just to make lists, right? And it gives you an opportunity to play things that maybe you don't want to invest all in like a new Signar or Krix army, but you like certain models or certain units, right? And you just want to pick them up. Now you can play them, right, without the giant investment, and then maybe build off of them later if you really like those models, right?
Yeah.
So it's funny because like one of my favorite things besides Protectorate is dwarves, right? So I've been trying to build up some Rulik stuff.
So when I walked up here, you had JR and Oz crammed into the doorway, yelling
Blocking
at-
you from getting in.
blocking me from getting in, but talking to you about dwarf lists for COI.
And so it's an interesting challenge because the point costs are a little weird with them. But I mean, for me, it's very important to just have like models and units that I like thematically really like. So I'm trying to build a Rulik list like with like the Tactical Arcanist Core,
Right.
Right. Just because it looks so cool.
Yeah, attack is cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like dwarves with gas masks. Man, come on, you don't get much cooler than that, man. Like that's so awesome. And then I mean, I don't know if you can play Company of Iron without trying to make some kind of gun mage list at some point, right? Like
at some point,
at some point,
everybody's going. Wes, this is the dismounted champion of the Order of the Wall for Protectorate. This is his dismount option, and he's dope. Agatha, what's up, nerd?
he's so cool. God, he's so cool. What about you guys? What kind of lists are you guys building for
Well,
Company of Iron?
you mentioned gun mages. That's the list that I brought out. I played Company of Iron for the first non-playtest game last week
Wow.
against another staffer. It
Yeah.
was a full-on. I got to bring out my list and just play it, and it's a unit of gun mages, Black 13th, and a rifleman, and I lost.
No.
And I had so much fun.
Aren't you using some odd models for yours? Like just some random.
As everything is in progress, I have the Thorn gun mages painted up, standing in for
Right.
Black 13th right now.
Right.
And I have done each of them, so they're not the shining paragons of Signar. They have definitely gone a little rogue.
No,
and
your dudes are like dark.
they're
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
leathery. And I went and I added a kerchief to the face of each one, like a bandit. So
That's
every
awesome.
gun mage has a bandit covering on their face. Kind of
so
adds to the
dope.
flavor. But man, I just couldn't. I was making so many like finger pistol shots while we were playing. I was having a great time.
Pew! Oh no.
No. We thought we had technical difficulties,
We
but we
thought
did
we
not have
did.
technical difficulties.
Or maybe in an alternate universe,
Todd is saying somebody should convert a unit of Gobber gun mages, which is awesome.
that would be so awesome.
Doug Hamilton, what up, Dougie?
What's up, dog?
Is saying you should bring it to Company of Iron, Tony. And I'm going to tell you right now.
Bring what to
br-
Company of
I'm
Iron?
sorry, bring it to War Machine Weekend.
I'll bring it to War Machine Weekend. I'll play some Company of Iron. On War
I'm going to
Machine
tell you right
Weekend.
now. I mean, I'm doing a Company of Iron thing at War Machine Weekend, like running one of the event things, or something like that. Yeah.
I think you may be playing.
I am. I'm
Company
playing.
of Iron
Yeah, I'm playing
live on
something.
our live stream.
Yeah, yeah, I think. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm bringing both I'm bringing the Filthy Five and the Steel Creel. Hopefully, bringing the Steel Creel. Should be bringing the Steel Creel. And who knows what I'm going to play? I don't know. I'm crazy.
There's lots of after hours.
I'm a loose cannon.
He's a loose cannon.
We would normally do some drawing, but maybe we'll do some Company of Iron.
Brendan Sullivan asks, Dallas, one thing I never understood is the difference between base, hobby, and studio brush and when to use them. Would mean a lot. If you see this, comment and talk about it. Well, you know what, Brendan? The difference is just basically the size. A base brush is just nice and thick. And the base there's base hobby brush and there's base studio brush. So the studio brush has a natural hair fibers. The hobby brush is synthetic, and so the natural hair one should have a finer, tighter point, and the hobby brush is a little tougher. So you can actually get in there and just put on a nice big base coat and then rinse it off and stuff like that. So it's I use them kind of interchangeably. I just use the base hobby brush a lot. I beat the heck out of base hobby brushes because they're just so good. They're super good. Sort 4 miles in the Filthy Five. Todd, yes. That's because those you saw 4 models of the Filthy Five in the No Quarter Prime #1 because the Filthy Five in that photo was in a training session. And it was a mock battle between another Trencher Force by James Arbuthnot. And so some guys had already been taken out of the paintball game, is what I'm saying. That was a training session.
It was mid-action. There would have been some casualties.
Mid-action training session.
There would have been some casualties by that point.
Philip, yes, he is currently using Minoth White base to put on his base layer. He's got it thinned down just a touch to let that zenithal priming go through. We need to talk about your painting. We're not.
Oh, I'm
we
so.
gotta-
Company of Iron just so
We
exciting.
got excited about Company of Iron. We forgot to talk about painting. So Josh is doing a zenithal priming technique. And what this does is create value on his miniature by priming the model black and then spraying white primer from above, letting the recesses and dark shadows stay black. You can use glazes and washes, and then you can also use a combination of traditional painting techniques as well to build in your value and then put your color over top of that. So Josh is trying this out for the first time over the past 3 weeks and working out the kinks as he goes along and becoming
Confidence.
in his painting. And so, yes, it's Minoth White base, watered down, going over top. Steve, you can get our brushes at store. Look at that. Look at that. John Swinkles in the command, the remote command.
The
center.
Command Annex.
The command,
Command
annex.
Annex.
Command X. And the Command X dropped the link right above you, Steve. So go pick up the brushes. Go check out our paints. We got just so you know, we do have 6 brand new paints. The
Wow.
Grimkin Wicked assortment and the 2 new flesh washes, which, if I might just say, are the dopest flesh washes ever created.
They're very good.
What are they?
Castman flesh wash and Cossite flesh wash. You should
That's-
totally try them out.
That's awesome.
And the Piggy Purple ink, which is super, super tasty. Travis, it feels weird for you to be painting while you're at work with us as well,
But keep doing it.
but keep doing it.
Actually, speaking of painting, so I want to go back to the zenithal highlighting because
Travis actually took the day to figure out to paint with us during lunch. So
Wow.
he set it up today. It was awesome.
that's impressive. Thanks, Travis.
Yeah, everybody should do that every Thursday. Just tell your boss from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Just put-
Pacific time.
I don't even
Dallas
think.
Kemp said I need to paint.
Yeah,
like-
I don't even think you need to tell your boss. I think just hanging a note off of your office door or the end of your workstation, wherever
Yeah.
you are, I think just letting them know that's what you're doing, that's enough. That's a very courteous and respectful thing to do.
You know, I think that's something that just should be adopted by like every employer. It's
Right.
like in Spain they have siesta.
Uh-huh.
right?
Right.
I think in America we should just have
Paint jam.
Paint jam every Thursday. All work stops. You know what? Just every day. All work stops for an hour, hour and a half, and everybody just paints for an hour, hour and a half, and You'll be more happy.
It's true.
It's a productivity
And
booster.
It's a productivity. It's also a team building exercise.
Definitely.
You know, you get some people that aren't normally artistic, and you get them all together, and you paint up your little armies, and then you have more people to play games of War Machine, Hordes, and Company of Iron against. I'm gonna run on this platform when I go for president.
Yes. Camp 2020.
I'm trying to
I'm
trying to
hobby
decide what that
president.
looks like.
I'm the hobby president.
Hobby president. Is that like is it a subset or parallel to president? Just hobby president.
No, I'm
It's,
the,
okay.
like
Does that make Brendan Secretary of Hobby State?
yes.
Okay, that's good. I like that.
I'm so confused by these
Or
politics.
viceroy. Maybe viceroy. Charles, thank you. One vote.
I do want to ask you about zenithal highlighting.
Make America metal again. I agree. Gravedigger denim is hot. Agatha, you're correct. What do we got here? Cold Black and Exile Blue. John Swinkles, yes. Okay, where are we at here? Hang on. John asks, how can Josh maintain a smooth, even coverage with that white? You know what? A, that's just P3 paints.
Delicious.
And B, Josh has learned a lot and has learned control.
I have learned more. Like the way I'm handling this brush is like a complete different universe from where it was like 3 weeks ago. It's like I had a great teacher or something, and the pressure of the people on the internet watching me.
Yeah,
You know?
the pressure, the eyes upon you. The Minoth white isn't pure white. It's a very cream color, and so it does go on very, very smooth. It usually still takes 2 coats, nice thin, low, even coats to get a solid coverage. Anything studio painted that's protectorate usually takes 2 coats to get like that nice, solid coverage. We would be painting a little bit thicker if this was a studio model, but Josh is trying some zenithal highlighting and priming, and so just really thinly painting that on there to get that little champion of the Order of the Wall all painted up so he can fight me.
I'm going to try one more time to get my zenithal priming question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So, well, first of all, we this last week we released our zenithal priming video.
Ramblers get to rambling.
Wait, that's okay. And I already got one comment from a friend of mine who talked about how much he liked the technique. And then since we've been doing these videos, I have been trying it at home. And one of the problems I have been running into is that prime everything black, and then I
Right.
come over the top with the white. But when I end up pulling the miniature back, it looks like too much white has gotten in. And I think I'm doing it from about a 45-degree angle and then a little hit of white on the focal point. But like, do you have any tips on just
I
how,
let
how,
that
to,
white-
how to not overspray?
I let that white live there like that.
Okay.
Like if you hit the face and it's a little too white, and like there's like very minimal black showing, that's okay in my eyes.
Okay.
Because then I'm just going to use my washes and my glazes and my highlights to just make the face brighter. Right?
Interesting.
Right? I'm just going to use that to create a better focal point, right? If it's all dark, if like the whole under the cheekbones down to the neck and the neck is all black and his eye sockets are all black, it just makes him look more broody.
Right.
So not just in the face, but in the rest of the miniature too.
It's okay as long as it's that T, that 2 T's area that we've talked about before.
Right.
Like it's good. It still brings up a focal. Like I've been doing that. Like my Grimkin army, I started out not doing that, and as I progressed and learned more, and just developed my own approach to technique, I started bringing in more white to those focal areas and just letting them be that way, and
Right.
it makes the model more poppy.
Remind people what the 2 T's are.
So 2 T's on, I talk about 2 T's a lot when I'm painting, and they're the focal points. So the first T is from shoulder to shoulder, forehead to belt buckle. Second T is temple to temple, forehead to chin. And as long as you focus in on the first T, the core T, and then focus even more on the second T, the face T, you bring focus to those areas, lifting the eye, giving the eye something to look at, because we naturally look in faces. So it just gives the face something to gives your eye something to focus on, so you can kind of get away with like not painting the foot as good. Womp womp. Permission to not paint feet good.
Permission granted.
And Dallas, one other thing. You are here on your vacation today.
That's right.
I am
He's blessed us.
on vacation this week. Charles Foster, go to run to your meetings. Thanks for joining us, and I'll catch you later, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Charles, I want to Charles Trehan. I'm not sure what your comment is. If you want to clarify that, we can talk about it. That's true, Todd. That's true.
What is Todd saying? I can't see the chat.
Todd says someday feet will learn to paint and appreciate models, and will take revenge by not painting faces good.
All the model feet will detach themselves, run around, causing mayhem and neglect.
Yeah, so this is my vacation week, and I spent it playing video games and
Nice.
painting trolls.
That sounds very sweet.
That's a great vacation.
So you spend your days painting and playing with models, and then on vacation you paint and play with models.
And come hang out with all these fine people on Facebook. Get your paint on.
So this is actually something Josh and I were talking about when we came in this morning. Was kind of painting at home and how we both do it. But Josh, what are some of your how do you get painting at home? How do you motivate to paint at home?
Hang on, I'm going to
the
answer
day
this
at work?
question from
Oh,
Charles
yeah,
real quick. So he's commenting about like getting Charles. What he's talking about is he's not getting paint where he doesn't want it. It's when he's doing, like, if you watch I do a video on zenithal priming, and I do like a 45-degree focus all the way around, and then I do a snap right in the center spot. And he's just talking about blowing out the shadows, not getting the light where it doesn't want to be, but just blowing the shadows out. So he's still wanting the light there, but he was just afraid that he was blowing out too much shadow and not having enough contrast. And I originally thought the same thing when I first started doing it, but what I learned was you can still build in your shadows and it's still just a focal point. That's what you're doing. You're building in a focal point. So he's not getting the light where he doesn't want it. He's just blowing out the focal, which is good. It's actually a good thing. It makes the model more poppy. It lifts it up off the table, gives it more presence, and just makes it more zazzy. Zazzy. All right. I'm sorry, Josh. I just wanted to get that out of the way.
No, that's beautiful. That's a beautiful point.
Josh, tell us about your inspiration.
Well, I mean, it's
Tell us about your perspiration.
my perspiration. Oh man, I mean, just a lot of deodorant. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
It's just
stay
not your
fresh.
constipation.
You gotta stay fresh. Gotta stay fresh. Well, no, it's like it can be difficult, right? When you work a 40-hour-a-week job and you have to be a grown up to come home and be motivated to hobby and paint and stuff, right? You know,
I guess.
I mean, sure, present company excluded, right? Of course, but for a lot of people, it can be difficult, right? And so to especially when especially if you work at a creative job, which I'm lucky enough to be able to do some creative stuff occasionally here for No Quarter and for writing and stuff.
You write good stuff.
So the reality is that it can be very difficult to motivate myself to want to be creative at home. So the way you do it is you just kind of have to force yourself to, right? And you got to realize, like, I've learned to enjoy painting more these past 3 weeks because I feel like Dallas keeps saying, like, more confident, but also because it allows me to enjoy more. And it's kind of like meditative a little bit. You get kind of like zen out, and you can kind of just be in the moment and paint your models. And then the other thing for me too is the second part is it's kind of investing in future fun, right? Like you
There
paint
you go.
now, and it allows you to have a nice painted army for when you're gonna pay, Company of Iron or War Machine or whatever, right? So it's kind of like paying your dues now, but also doing it, meditatively, and then eventually you come back and you're able to have fun later. I mean, it can be tough, but and the more you do it, the better you get, and the more confident you get, right? And
Right.
that makes it more fun,
right.
right? Where you get more confident, you feel better about yourself. Like I honestly, like I can't say it enough. Like just forcing myself to do this for the time I've done it here and at home, painting the rest of my army at home. Like I've learned to enjoy painting more than I think I have in years.
There you go.
So thank you, Dallas. For the
Well, I mean,
record.
that's the thing is like people are like, it's like you just got to do the thing and do it often, and you become more comfortable, you become more practiced, and it just becomes more like if you're struggling with something, that's learning.
Right. It's
Right?
uncomfortable, right? It's going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah,
at
things
first.
are, learning uncomfortable means you're learning, right?
Yeah.
People talk about plateaus in creativity, and I'm like, I personally feel like you should learn to enjoy the plateau.
Right.
The plateau is the struggle, right?
Right.
That's the struggling part of creativity. Is,
Right.
Learning. So you just gotta push past it, and then you get those big epiphany moments, and then you become more comfortable, and then you just become more adept, and then you just become more happy.
Right.
Did that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
And then just repeat that a few hundred times, and you can start becoming.
It's not a few hundred times. You don't have to be a professional. You just have to have fun and paint your dude.
Yeah. That's beautiful. But if you want to be a professional, it takes a while.
We've already talked about that. We're not going back in.
I'm not talking. No, I'm not bringing you up. No, I'm not.
From
doing
a
it.
from a very practical perspective, one of the things that I have found that helped a lot was making my environment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Konachek, the most practiced artist I've ever met.
Yeah, it's true. He practices so
That
much.
guy,
Yeah.
this guy, dude, you are the professor of practice, the paragon of patience,
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
it's very inspirational.
and I was gonna say pariah of perseverance, but that's not what you want.
The paragon of perseverance.
Paragon.
You
of
just
perseverance.
made me snort with that. That was good.
What red do you have out, Josh?
This
quick.
Oh yeah, this
I'm
is
not cutting off. I just have to.
this is the Scorn red. That's for my base, and then soon I'll be highlighting with Kador base red, Kador highlight, and some Maro white.
There you go.
I'm just gonna throw all of those up on the screen.
Don't throw up on the screen.
so that we can get back to chit chatting because I've been neglecting these color swatch
Tony
duties.
wants to throw up on the screen.
Just vomit all over it.
Ed, that is the new Dragoon, the champion of the Order of the Wall. This is his dismount version that Josh is painting up for his Company of Iron Force.
Ooh, super excited.
Company of Iron, you do what you want. Company of Iron. Oh, this is my first song of the day, I think.
Did you have one when you came in? I can't remember.
Tyler says, Josh, your brush control has improved. Keep those tips honed.
Thank you. Yes.
See, people are noticing already the
Yes.
confidence building.
Improvement.
Do you think models get confused when they are painted in colors named after other armies? I do not think they do.
No. I think they accept it for what it is.
I think this little protector guy likes knowing that he's wearing Scorn red.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on the inside he's just a grumpy boy.
He loves pain.
This paladin kicks baby elephants.
Grumpy Paladin.
Grumpy paladin.
He literally kicks baby elephants.
yeah.
He's just like, you know what I like doing on my days off? Kicking baby elephants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the baby elephants have had worse done to them though.
They
already.
certainly
Yeah.
have. They certainly
Oh
have.
yeah. Well, he's not totally evil.
Right.
I mean, he's protector, so he's like lawful evil.
Mm-hmm.
He's like evil for your own good.
Sure.
Josh, do you have when you paint at home? Do you have a dedicated painting area?
I have a small one, but I keep it kind of messy. It's my secret shame, right? I'll have like books on there and stuff. But yeah, I do. I think it's good to have a place where you can go, right, and just focus on painting.
Sarah, thank you for sharing the P3 paints with your husband for his model airplanes. P3 paints are fantastic, not just for miniature painters, but also, Tony, you're a traditional artist. You use them for canvas painting.
I
and
use
stuff
them.
like that.
I use them for everything. I use them for my miniatures. I use them for sketching.
Yeah, I sketch with them.
and I use
they're-
them just for regular old paints. They are
Yeah, they're just acrylic.
They're
Fantastic.
acrylic, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought.
So I
They're
use them
acrylic.
for like I've painted pictures, like pictures that I've given to friends or put up on the wall, like with P3 paints. Like they're They're the single most versatile paint on the market. And yes, you can use them in your airbrush. And that might be a topic that we might cover in a video.
What? What's this? What's this?
Airbrushing with P3
Oh.
paints.
I didn't say that. You said that. I didn't say that.
You know what? I'm a loose cannon today.
Oh, loose cannon, a warrior.
Loose cannon. That's the weirdest use of P3 paints I've ever heard of, Todd.
What?
He keeps security deposits intact by painting holes in the wall.
Huh. That's wonderful.
Hey, well, you know, if that works and you get to keep your security deposits, then more power to you. Go forth.
Just another of the miracles brought to you by P3 Paints.
So what are you working on there, Josh? You still putting some red on his toes?
Yeah. Since this model is mostly going to be red.
He's got red tootsies.
It's going to take me a while. But his tootsies are very, very red.
I've been issues with P3 in my airbrush. How do you stop clotting? Tyler, that question has many answers that I don't have because I have not watched you airbrush. I don't know what you're doing. You might have the PSI too high. You might have the PSI too low. You might not have enough liquid in it. You might have too much liquid in it. Like there's so many variables.
Faulty needle, internal equipment on the airbrush itself.
You know what? I had a clogging issue with mine, and I thought there was something, and then I tried all these different like fixes, and it ended up being a bent tip. Of
Yeah,
the needle.
bent
Wow.
needle tip will do it.
Bow, 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 painting red boots, painting red boots. Josh, how you feeling about your protectorate, bro?
I'm really liking
Do you have the rest of your army in here?
So it's at home in various stages of completion.
Oh, you better get it done.
Oh,
We
it
gotta
will.
fight.
Oh no, it's getting ready. Seriously, I'm having so much fun painting it now. Like, it's kind of like a joy, a little bit. Honestly, like,
We're gonna fight. We're gonna duke it out.
we're gonna duke it out, right? And I gotta make sure that my army is as pretty as it can be for the day of reckoning.
You're gonna put your table. You're gonna put your army on the table. I'm gonna put my army on the table, and then you're just gonna hear.
That's a 2 weeks from now, I think.
I think so.
I
A
don't know
week,
what the
think
date-
weekly
so.
rumble.
I think so. Company of Iron, weekly rumble.
So that cloak, Ed asks. So that cloak is just 2 or 3 layers of Morrow white. No, it's not Morrow white. It's Minoth
Minoth
white
base.
base.
Yep. I'm using the same formula that I was taught for the last 2 videos, right? So if you go on the YouTube and see the previous videos I've been on, it's the same exact recipes
Yep.
created by the great Dallas Cat.
And he's gonna and that's just he is gonna shade that. So like
Yeah.
even though the zenith highlighting, you can create your volume with it with the thin paints. I do go back and add a little shadow to the area. So like under those folds, he'll put in some shadows in that later on. He's just getting all the base coats on right now. He's just having fun painting, just kind of rocking along. We've already covered all the steps in the last 2 Get Your Paints On, so you can go back and watch those. And see exactly what the recipes are and like. But right now, Josh is just having fun painting this little
Yeah.
protectorate, bro.
As he should be.
Just having a good time.
It is a blast.
We're just talking and hanging out with you, Ed, and Tyler, and Sarah, and Steve. This is just the names I can see on the monitor right now. I know there's more people out there, but we're just hanging and painting.
I can't let it go. It's like I'm
I almost
watching.
broke into song.
I'm watching Josh paint and just thinking about more Company of Iron lists. And what I want to know is that what lists have you all been
Do you know you
playing
can't
around with?
have in Company of Iron? And
What?
It's really unfortunate. There's so many cool things in
There are a
Company
lot
I
of
know, but there's
things
just one thing you
There's
really
just one
can't
thing you
have.
can't
Oh man, it would be nice.
Dear God, what is that?
What is that thing?
Was that here the whole time?
I don't. We had some technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen. There was a gator attack, but we're back
Watch
to
out, Gator attack! Watch out, he's got your back.
we're back to our regular scheduled Paladin show.
Sean, he did start this model at the beginning of the video.
Mm-hmm.
He did not. I was like, Josh, paint. He's like, no. And I was like, Josh, paint. He's like, no. And I'm like, Josh, paint. No. Then we started, and he's like, start painting. Dun 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 dun. Everybody's like, yeah, look at that. And I'm like, I know, right? It's so dope.
It is so dope.
I wish you could have him come here. I might have to make a special scenario.
Yeah, special scenario for the giant.
Oh my gosh, let's do that.
Crocodile.
Let's build a special scenario.
Oh, we should, man.
That's what we should do. Instead of fighting each other,
Mm-hmm.
Take down the Dracodile.
we're just gonna take down Dracula.
Oh my God, boss
Together.
fights and Company of
Boss
Iron.
fights. Company of Iron boss
Oh,
fights.
That would be so awesome. I mean,
Oh
we,
my god! I
we gotta
wish
talk to
everybody
Oz.
could see his eyes right now.
I just realized that.
The
That's
glinty
so
in that man's eyes
awesome.
right now.
Imagine like 2 or 3 people teaming up with their little 20-point list against a. Oh my God! Oh, we gotta talk to Oz after this.
The crafty bitch says, after the last video I watched, you talked about putting a figure on a cap. I tried and couldn't do it.
Do you have
Still
two-sided?
more comfortable just to hold the figure and paint. Try instead of a cap. Try a dowel rod. It's much smaller and there's like lots of different ways, but it does make it more ergonomic.
If you still have them around, film canisters are about the same
Film
size
canisters,
too.
yeah. Nice.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Will, how would I know that that's? I don't know what you're making. Will says I was spoiling his scenarios.
Oh no!
What is that called? What is that called when somebody has the same idea, like parallels?
Parallel thinking.
Parallel thinking,
Yeah.
parallel thoughts?
Yeah.
Which will is that? We have to be more specific.
Will
There are
Pagani.
entirely too many wills in this
There are a
building.
lot of wills.
And they're making fun of you for showing your age with film canisters. Good job. Pin and put it in a cork. That works too. You drill a little hole up in the foot, put a pin in it, stuff it in a wine cork.
I've used wine corks before. I cut dowels
yeah.
before.
Cut
Film
dowel.
canisters.
I
yeah.
like the dowel rod. The dowel rod, and then I glue it to a 50 millimeter base, and then that way it has a nice stand. Synchronous thinking. Thank you. It's glued to a 50 millimeter base, and then I just double-sided tape the miniature to the top of the dowel rod. I find that to be the most comfortable. I do have big mitts, so the primer lids work for me too, though. Depending on the model, like a jack won't fit on a dowel rod, so I put it on. It just makes it where I can flip the model. For me, it's all about flipping the model upside down. I have to be able to flip the model upside down, get in the nooks and crannies, move my hand in any general direction I really need to go, and just get that model painted. Yeah, there's all kinds of things, Chris, that you can pill bottles, like, an old medicine bottle. All kinds of things you can do. Blair, larger paint bottle when I can paint, still working on hands-free apparatus. Yeah, the hands-free apparatus is always going to be tricky because you can't flip it upside down. But I'm sure somebody can come up with something. Josh, are you going to put any black on him?
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. But not a lot. I definitely want these boys to be a little bit brighter, a little bit more noble bright than dark. But I definitely might do a couple spots here and there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good watch. Colossals I usually leave in 2, Sean. Like I leave the top hat and the bottom, depending on the colossal, of course. It just all depends. Brisket and swine apple with Will Pagani. Gonna grill some brisket and swine apple.
Oh,
Is that coming up soon?
Uh-huh.
That's
Man.
this weekend, I think.
Tyler asked, what is my recommendation for the back of a shield? And I'm like, you know what? Leave it black.
I usually, yeah. I used to try and paint it. I might, like in the past, I've done like a dark brown or kind of made it so it's not flat black. But most of the time, you can't see it. It falls into shadow, and you don't spend a lot of time on that.
In the studio, because we got 360s, I'll mix up if it's a gold shield with gold trim that looks like it goes around to the back, I'll take some gold and I'll mix a brown into it, like Battlefield Brown or maybe Umber Lumber, and make a semi-metallic color. That way it's not shiny. And I'll just paint it flat on the back and just let the natural shadows deal with it. And then that way I don't have to spend a bunch of time trying to, blend and do all kinds of crazy stuff to the back of a shield. I just kind of leave it flat. And it's on the back of a shield, so it's being blocked by an arm and a tabard and a shoulder pad and a thing and a bob and a belt and a hose and a pipe and a pouch.
If you're out there and you paint a shield flat black, and then you have an opponent comment why you only painted your shield flat black, if anyone ever notices, you let me know, and I will send you a card that says I was wrong and you were right.
That's true.
It's very true.
Mike, what posable, movable miniature holder are you speaking of? Because right now, all this is on the live stream is I paint, and in the studio we paint with our models double-sided tape to paint lids and dowel rods and stuff like that. So this is just a model double-sided taped to a P3 primer lid, and then we just have a blue tacked on top of a mic stand. And all this does is keep it in focus or in frame for the camera. Look at those likes. Like and share, people. It just keeps it in the frame for the camera for making videos. I find it not very comfortable. So it's just really good for live streaming or making videos like P3 Presents.
I like to cause you problems.
Yeah. Well, it's not causing problems. It's just if I'm painting, I want it off because I want to be able to move. I like being able to move. I like being able to stretch and twist and turn my model and stuff like that, and just get in all kinds of different positions. So,
Like being nimble.
right. Well, when we first started making the videos, Tony was just like, not in frame. Dallas, not in frame.
It's out of focus. Focus,
Dallas,
pull it in.
focus,
It's not
pull
in
it
focus.
Pull it in.
It's not in
And
focus.
So
I gave you your own monitor so that you could see what
That
I
just made it
saw,
worse.
and that, yeah, because then you just fight the monitor.
I was actually painting the miniature by looking at the monitor.
Wow.
And I was really confusing the head. So then we put it on this, we just put it on this mic stand with some blue tack, and done. Try it out. If you like it, you like it.
Yeah, I go with Dallas. I find it a little
Thank you,
too,
Sarah. You're the bee's knees.
a little too restrictive.
It's just too restrictive. I'm a mover. I don't sit in one spot. For a painter, I do not sit in one spot long. Brendan's the opposite. Brendan, he's like a statue.
It just stays there the whole time.
Oh yeah, he just stands there, and I'm like headbanging. I'm like moving back and forth and still painting miniatures. Like I'm shuffling my feet.
That's fun. Like recently, I got to go a little standing desk that goes up and down because I used to sit at my editing station all the time. And now I stand up, and I realize that when I'm standing up, I end up doing my my rock and roll.
No.
Oh, it's like a
Yeah, look at that.
classic-
Look at that. Look at that.
classic
It's like a
battle
painting.
right
It's like a
there.
Frazetta painting.
Yeah, this is classic. This should be airbrushed on the side of a van. It's like a sweet knight fighting the giant monster.
You got a standing desk, Tony?
Oh yeah, just and going off of now that I'm a little more mobile, I realize I'll do it too. I listen to music while I'm working, and I'll just kind of stand there and bounce around a little bit, do my headbang and rock legs,
Headbanging rock legs.
like I'm at a show.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so nice. That's so nice. It's just
Dallas
I'm
giving me
just
that look. You're so 90s. You're so 90s.
Just like this. You're like
Nah,
No
so
one
it's
can
the
see
it's
it,
the
but
one it's the one leg back.
one leg back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta have
Yep,
it.
like this
Oh
with
yeah,
the one
yeah.
so you don't fall over. You know, get that. Got to brace yourself. You got to get that little that lower pyramid.
Dun, 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 run from the Dracodile.
So now I'm gonna shade the red, starting with Exile Blue, and some
Yeah,
mixing medium.
that's what you're doing. You're gonna add some Exile Blue and mixing medium to your red to create your red shade. Remember?
Yeah.
Danny Samuels asked, "Do I prop my elbows up on my desk to help stabilize my hands? Is posture super important?" Yes, absolutely. Posture is super important when you're painting. Ergonomics is the key to success for anything. I stand at a desk when I paint at work. I've took my standing desk at home and put it sitting because standing all day makes me want to go home and sit. But yes, I stand straight up, prop my elbows up, and then I do not have to hunch down. I have my desk high enough where I do not have to hunch down. I can stand straight up, and I put my wrists together, lock my wrists, and that's how I paint. Makes it more comfortable and gives you more control. Also, breathing. Breathing is super
Yeah,
important.
I have learned that too.
One trick when you're doing like real precise details, like eyes or freehand, is breathe out.
Oh, exhale when you're.
Yeah, when you go to take the shot,
Yeah.
you exhale.
Huh.
Right. Take a big deep breath, hold it, and then right when you go to paint the eye, exhale.
How does that help?
Does help with control.
Because what it does is it relaxes the diaphragm. Right when you're holding your breath, your body's actually stressed.
Right.
And so when you exhale slow, so I'm going to do it on the microphone. So you take a big deep breath. And just slowly release, and it relaxes your body and lets you be more precise.
Wow, that's a good tip.
Yeah,
I'm
take
gonna
the
remember
shot.
that one. See, that's the nice visual because that's what's gonna get a guy like me to remember when I go home. Is I'm gonna forget the tip, but I will remember being a sniper while painting eyes.
That's all it is. You're just being a sniper. Yes, when you're painting, your elbows can become sore. One thing you can do is get some foam or some old towels and put them down and put your elbows on that. That will alleviate the pinch point in your elbow and make it more comfortable. Tips and tricks for painting. Tips and tricks for everything. Tips and tricks makes you better. Tips and tricks. It's the tip.
I realized a lot of it is figuring out what works for you, right? Like,
Yeah.
like just trial and error.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a pitfall that a lot of painters have is like they try something but they don't adapt.
Right.
I've noticed like they'll paint and they'll be like, this doesn't work, but they're not changing enough to they're not well, what if I do it like this? Well, what if I do it like this? What if I do it like this? And I guess that comes from like being afraid to mess up a miniature. And I say you can't mess it up because you painted it.
And also like that thinking of try things more than once, a couple times. Be the same with if you're cooking and you make a recipe and it doesn't come out the first time. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad recipe or that you can't make it good. You just have to try it again, see if you can figure it out. And it's also possible after using a technique, you don't like it, ditch it, but at least you gave it a shot.
gave it a go.
You know how you would rather do it is better than
Yeah,
that technique.
understanding why you didn't like it or understanding why it didn't work is really essential. Like Josh is trying out this Zenithal priming, and he might be like, you know what, I like this, but it's not really what I want to do, and I'm glad I tried it, and now I can see. Or he might be like, you know what, I see what this is trying to do, and I need to make a little adaptation, and do something a little different on the model, and on his next Company of Iron Force, he figures something out.
Definitely.
Pat, I think that's all just in the rule book, but I'm not. Pat asked if he's wondering if PP will publish or post a consolidated list of terrain features or rules for Mark III. I just assume that's all in the rule book.
I believe that's just
I'm
all in
not
the
sure
rule
what
book.
Yeah,
the-
I think it's all.
Yeah, Prime and Primal. It's all in Prime and Primal.
Which I believe those rules are available online. Is that correct?
For free.
For free.
It's all in the rule book. Get your rule book. Read your rule book. It's the rule book. The book of rules. It's all collected in there. Josh is painting a dude with a cape and some red armor who's gonna kick a baby elephant.
That's true.
The look on your face is just like, ugh. My guys are good guys. They do not kick baby elephants.
That's right. I have like holy music playing in my head, and here you are accusing me of
Baby elephant kicking.
to side or whatever.
But Josh, if that's what the creator wanted,
Oh no, without a doubt.
Okay.
They would all.
they're
be
not above
kicked-
it.
They would all be kicked and burnt. I
Okay.
mean, that's just you don't question.
That's the crazy thing about rules, Zach. That's exactly what they do is tell you the things that you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing about rules. Wacky thing rules are. You never see a list of rules like how to have fun. It's always a list of rules of how to not do something.
Yeah, I suppose you could make a list of rules on how to have fun, and I'm sure someone would give you a bunch of reasons why none of those can happen.
It's a speed limit, not a speed unlimited. Why are rules always restrictions?
We could think of artistic rules not as rules, but as
Guidelines.
time-tested guidelines.
Yeah.
That occasionally can be broken.
Oh,
that,
yeah,
that
sure.
absolutely can be
Oh,
broken.
absolutely.
The point is not that they're not hard and fast. It is just they are time tested. Many people over many years have found techniques that achieve results that are pleasant and desirable for many different
Like blue and
situations.
orange, right? Blue and orange
Work together very well.
work together very well.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where I was going with this. I
don't know.
had a thought. I was going somewhere.
Well, it's definitely at least from my perspective, like learning how stuff should be, quote unquote, is a great way to learn what works and does not work for you. So don't be afraid to do your own stuff, but also don't be afraid to figure out what somebody else may have already done the legwork for you on.
Very true.
Every movie poster, yes, ever Tyler uses that red blue smash combination. This is so powerful. You gotta to break the rules though. You have to understand the rules. Like this is something I always taught. Zane is like when you're being creative. It's like you gotta learn the rules. You gotta develop like an understanding of why this and this technique, or this and this color, or this and this like thing works, and then you can move on to breaking those rules.
Why do you want to do something different than
Right.
that?
Like I just recently started putting weird colors in my yellows.
Like what?
Coal black.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That can and give you kind of a grainy.
It creates a green look without looking sick.
Yeah.
Right. And like when you look at a lot of yellows and the deep shadows, it tends to turn a little green, especially on things like hard surfaces, like cars. Look at a yellow car, the shadows tend to be a little green. So like, I would have never thought to put blue in my yellow, but like just experimenting and like looking at nature being a car, I was just like, I'm gonna put blue in there.
That's interesting because typically when painting yellow, you want to go for orangey browns.
Orangey browns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm painting my yellow trolls, and like in the eye sockets, I put some coal black and very, very thin. It's very, very, very thin. Like it's just a hint. But I did all the shadows in like orangey browns and these, red tones, these warm tones. But then by putting that little bit of coal black in the eye sockets, I created a cooler area that's darker because it's very, very thin, right? I didn't paint just coal black in there, right? It's just a very thin hint. And it created a better contrast and made the eyes pop out.
Interesting. Oh.
Yeah.
I'll try that. I would have never thought that. Like, in fact, again, my experience with using anything that's yellow is actually to try to avoid making it look too green. That's
Yep.
why you don't shade yellow with black.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, look at that. Learn something new every day.
Blair, you're absolutely correct. Adding green and blue. I'm not a big fan of the blue or purple in flesh tones, but I definitely do a lot of the green. If you look at all the studio recipes, we do greens in our flesh tones. The darker the skin, the more purple you want to go, though. So if you're doing a really dark skin, you want to add more purple tones. But lighter skins, you want to do more green tones, and you can add some. You can put a little blue in there. It works. I just don't overdo it. Right.
Right,
You just can't
right.
overdo it.
Right. So now I'm gonna add Kador.
Greens are super important to skin.
Now I'm adding Kador red base with Kador red highlight and
And
some,
you're going to do your highlighting.
yeah, and a little bit of Mara white. Start highlighting.
Now your Mara White's going to desaturate that.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
want that desaturated?
yeah, yeah.
Or do you want to keep it bright and vivid?
I was actually going to ask you, like, is there, like, because with the recipe, is there a way to, because I feel a little bit more confident now, right?
Okay.
Is there a way to do like a mid tone between those two, like maybe add another step between the highlighting
Yeah, you just
and the
keep
base?
it. You just add more red.
So would you want me? Should I add more Kador Scorn red, or should I add the Kador?
Go straight Kador red.
Go straight Kador red with
Straight
no
Kador red.
no highlight.
No highlight.
Okay.
Go straight Kador
I
red.
can do that.
That's going to build up a step between the scorn and the final highlight with the
Got it.
the Kador red highlight, Kador red base mix.
Excellent. All right, let's experiment live on camera.
Because Kador red highlight's much brighter
Sure.
than scorn red,
Right.
so you can actually highlight scorn red. It's just not a super poppy highlight, but it is a highlight.
Okay. Interesting. For this technique, should I thin down a little bit still?
No, don't
Straight?
thin it down because you're just wanting to put a highlight on, right? You just
Yeah.
want it like a little edging,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't want it super thin. It'll run everywhere.
Okay.
You'll just make a mess.
Just make a mess.
Do scorn red, Kador red, scorn Kador red, Kador red.
I do want to go back to Company of Iron one more time.
Sure.
Stuck on my brain. I do want to hear people's lists out there. You guys, in anticipation of the game coming out, I want to know what you guys have been experimenting with, so that I can steal your ideas and put them into
Yes, please.
my lists, because it is
Yes,
it's
please.
been a lot of fun building them and coming up with ideas.
I guarantee you that there are some great
Oh yeah.
lists out there that
Oh,
are
yeah.
just really thematic.
Mm-hmm.
I have a thematic one I'm going to work on after my trolls. I think
Yeah.
I haven't decided yet.
How do you build your lists? I mean,
Theme.
like just like
Yeah,
you
theme.
come up with the concept
Yeah.
first.
Yes,
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say most. Yeah.
mine do.
Okay.
All mine just come up like the okay. So Fifthly 5. I've always wanted to paint Maxwell Finn.
Yeah.
I didn't feel inspired to build a whole army of trenchers, like 75 points of trenchers.
Mm-hmm.
But I always wanted to paint Maxwell Finn. Company of Iron comes out. I'm like, I'm going to paint Maxwell Finn. Well, what do I do with Maxwell Finn? And then so the theme came off of a dude that
okay.
I wanted to paint for
Okay.
years.
All right. So it actually started with the model, and
One
then
model.
the theme was built around the model.
For Steel Creel, it was theme first.
Ah, interesting.
And then
Okay.
I just picked the models around it that kind of worked.
Nice.
Right? The next one, it might not be the next one. You know what? I'd put it up to a vote. I'd put it up to a vote.
Oh, interesting.
You're gonna let people know what your next one is?
So I'm thinking about doing a Morrowind Inquisitorial Force.
Ooh, I like the
That's
theme.
all I'm saying.
I like the theme.
Just a theme. That's the theme. Morrowind Inquisitorial Force. Just we are here to persecute you for being a blasphemer.
Non-Morrowind. Yeah.
Yeah. Non-Morrowind.
I mean, you could do that, I guess. I guess you could do that.
I mean,
Whatever.
Morrow over Minoth, right? I mean,
I guess if you have,
it's like apples and hand grenades.
uh-huh.
I know which one I'd rather put in my mouth.
Sometimes a good hand grenade, though, sets you free. Sets you free.
And it's Nihilism Thursday. Scaldy Champs and Sorcerer is simple. Ed quote says, "Yep,
Yep.
nice lot." Man, I feel like there's something you can do instead of the sorcerer to really. Would the champion hero fit the solo? I don't know. I don't have the points.
Yeah, I don't have the points either. But
No, one thing that's been really fun for list building is just going into each faction and just scrolling down the lists and just pulling models that look really
Be
cool.
gone, sir.
I'm here to fight you.
Be gone.
Acid breath. I just ate your dude, bro.
You know what? He died as he lived. A hero. A hero.
He's a hero of the protectorate with a sword and shield and cape.
Coat cape. But yeah, I also just go on War Room and I just start
Just building lists.
Yeah, just like, oh, that looks cool. Let me make a list around that.
I'll over point. I'll just throw every model I think would be interesting to use in a list
Go.
onto the side, and then I'll just start editing from there. And
Oh, I thought
sometimes
you
I'll
were
have
just going to do it.
no.
Do
No,
it.
yeah, do it.
Dude,
Like
build a
right-
list
right now.
Yeah,
Right
build
now?
a list right
Okay.
now.
Every model you find interesting.
Yeah.
Not every
Off
model
the top of your head.
in a faction. In a faction,
Go. We're putting Tony on the spot.
Yeah,
He's
put him on the top.
giving me evil eyes.
But yeah, you should make a list like live on the air. That'd be kind of cool.
got one that was a Legion hunting party.
All right, you know what? We're gonna make lists live. I'm gonna do this. All right, I'm
Heroes of
opening-
the Creator.
Opening up my
Ooh.
opening up my war room. It's just like, here's a list of things that changed. Create new army. All right, everybody, give me a faction to build a list out of.
Oh, you're gonna get swarmed right
I
now
know.
by like 50 different suggestions.
Not trolls,
Yeah.
not Kador,
Right.
not Signar. So it has to be something other than that. Not convergence. Legion. I don't know what faction Minoth is, Chris. Sorry.
Yeah. Here we go. That's right. Protector, baby.
I got one for Legion. Scorn. Come on, minions. Graham cans. All right, let me see here. $25 points. Create Legion of Everblight solos.
Do it.
So the first thing I want in Legion is my favorite models, Blighted Legionnaires.
Ooh.
I love those models. Oh my gosh, they need a solo.
They've got the attachment, right?
Yeah, the
Captain
attachment, right?
Farrellor. Yeah.
Phalor, yeah.
Captain Farrellor in the standard.
Phalor is pretty cool looking.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet.
Oh, and he gives him cleave, or he has cleave.
Mm-hmm.
He can do Iron Zeal, so that's pretty good. That's a pretty beefy
And
investment.
Cleve and Company. I think they've got 1 or
That's
2
pretty
inch
good.
range for their swords. And Cleve and Company of Iron is fantastic. Like fantastic.
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 Fantastic. Oh man, there's so many good choices.
Mm-hmm.
What about the new solo lady? Devin, I don't know what you're talking about. What new solo lady?
Oh, Kralix.
Kralix? That's not a lady.
Yeah, it's not a lady. It's true.
He's a lady.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
So I'm gonna reduce the number of Blighted Legionnaires down to minimum, which opens up 11 points, which lets me put in a soldier because I want to do a beast. So I got Captain Firelore,
Mm-hmm.
a minimum of Blightedness Legionnaires, and a
That's
Nephilim soldier, leaving me with what, 2 points? What can I get for 2 points? 2 points. I can get a shepherd. I don't need a shepherd. I don't want a shepherd. Spell martyr doesn't work. 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. 2 points. Oh, you know what?
I bet they're screaming at you in the stream right now, like, do this.
I'm not even looking.
I bet it's just going crazy right now.
I can't. I have nothing I can do for 2 points. But that's pretty good. I like the Captain Fairlord, Blindness Legionnaires, and Nephilim Soldier.
So what happens if you
I
play?
would play that.
What happens if you play low on points?
You get cards.
Yeah, you get an extra card
Yeah.
to draw.
Okay.
Yeah, you get an extra card. And those cards are super tasty.
Yes.
Devin, that would be my very first thought, would be a Legion Force that is not Everblight, but more like Charzog or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Doing something like that.
For one of the other dragons.
Cards cost points. No, cards do not cost points, Alec.
The models in your army may reflect how many cards, additional cards you get, or cards that get taken away from your hand.
Travis, do you think I should take the Shepherd? Do you think does it fit? Does it fit though? Does it fit as like a hunting party? Because I'm imagining like these. Well, they're not really a hunting party because they're legionnaires. Like, so this is like a shock force. This is like dudes who come into your village and kick your shit over.
Yeah, that's yeah.
It's true.
The hunting. So I came up with the Legion hunting party a couple days ago, and I wanted to do a Strider Blightblade
Yeah,
with two rakes as the hunting dogs, but you
You can't.
cannot have
Yeah.
two of the same units. So I ended up doing the Tariff, and then taking a Shepherd as being the second Beast Warden.
Agatha, if you're under points, you get more cards. I would let you take 2 rakes against me because that would just look cool as like
Yeah.
a guy
So-
and his 2 hunting dogs.
So JR actually gave me a very good suggestion. He's like, well, you can keep the Tariff for as per the rules of the game, but you just convert one of them
To be
convert
a
a rake
rake.
to be more Tariff like, because it's the
Yeah.
look of the canine look of a rake that was working for me. It was less about what it did as the rules. So I don't mind having it be one of each.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the idea of converting a rake.
Like my Inquisitorial Force, I'm looking at a Warjack who doesn't fit thematically, the look of it, into the Inquisitorial Force, but converting something up to use it. Because the rules are fine, but I need the look.
You need the look.
Devin, you cannot take Cav.
You can take unmounted dragoon.
Take a Mount Dragoon eventually, but Cav, you can't take Cav because they're
no
50 millimeter
large bases.
Yeah, no large
large or
bases.
huge bases.
Yeah.
Tony's giving me the sign.
Okay, it's time to wrap it up.
We gotta
are-
wrap it
My
up.
goodness.
So
give you
Josh, we're gonna
a few
real
extra
quick-
minutes.
Real quick, we're gonna catch up where you're at on your guy.
I'm about to add the final highlights. I like the mid-tone highlights.
That mid-tone highlight
Yeah.
really brought out the
Yeah.
red armor.
Yeah, I'm really pleased with this experiment.
Yeah,
Still loving that color scheme.
the colors look really nice and poppy, especially on the camera. They look really, really good.
Fantastic.
And I think, can we do a real quick highlight across the top of that shield with your highlight color?
Oh,
your,
yeah,
your
absolutely.
mix. Just
Absolutely.
really quick. So load up your brush. There you go. Now just run the edge of the brush, not the tip. There you go. Run that right across the edge of that shield.
Oh man.
Just run it across, right across the edge.
Oh man.
Does that pop?
Yeah, it's starting to pop like a lot.
See how that looks. There you go. There you go. See that? It just pops right out.
That looks so
You
good.
can, I mean, that could even be kicked up just a scooch.
Yeah.
Like, but that little pop there, that's that edge highlighting. And your guy is almost done. Look at that. Look at you, Josh.
That feels really good, Dallas.
Get,
like,
yeah,
for real.
use that finger in there.
Yeah, use that finger, wipe stuff away.
Yeah.
Alec, no, they did not put me in the interview chair again, and they never will again.
It will never happen again. We've learned our lesson. We've learned our lesson.
We probed too deep.
I've answered all the questions. I'm an open book. I don't care. I'll tell anybody anything they want. Whatever. Whatevs.
He'll tell you things that'll leave you
There you go.
haunted.
Look at that pop. Bing, bing, bing. Right across that. Right across the top of his helmet, real quick. Just right across the top. There you go. There. Look at that. Pop. All right, kids. On
It
that
is,
note,
yeah, it is
Oh,
time
man,
to go.
So good.
How
Thank you for
about,
having me these last 3 weeks, Alice. I've learned a lot, like legit, and thank you for suffering through the questions last week.
No, you're great.
But overall, I mean, this was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. And honestly, just sitting down and doing it really helped out a lot.
it just shows that with patience, practice, and perseverance, like you can build up your army and you can get it ready for the tabletop, right?
I'm really excited, and I'm excited. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to destroy you the next time I see you with my
Yeah.
beautiful
Well, you
army.
know
but
what? Whatever.
now the student will become the master.
Dun, dun, dun.
Take us out with that fancy pants miniature we got in here.
It's time. It's time for get your paint on the end. It's time for get your paint on the end. It's a crocodile on. Get your paint on the end. It's time for the paint on the end. Wow.